Okay, my name is Yusara Anwar, and I'm PhD scholar at the University of Technology Malaysia. Certain guidelines have been given by my supervisor, so her name is here as well. So overview of this paper is that, first of all, I'm going to discuss the pyramid of languages that is given by Melchers and Shaw, and then semiotic analysis of a short media text, and then I'm going to support that analysis with the help of critical approaches to language policy and planning. This pyramid actually describes the situation of languages in the post-colonial regions, including Pakistan, India, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, etc. So English is at the top, although it can only be spoken by few people. And then the national language, that is Urdu, it is in the middle. And then the regional languages that are in the bottom of this pyramid, that perhaps lots of people can speak it, but it doesn't have that privilege in the society. English is the privileged language on the top. We have a case example here. It aims at using semiotic analysis to investigate the perlocutionary effect of representationally complex communications. This media text is very complex in representations. So this is the thought underlying this semiotic analysis. I'm going to play this video. It's 1 minute video, but this is important because that is the case example. In this video, you are going to see that cafe owners in Islamabad, it's here.
In English, say a sentence. Introduce yourself. Hi, my name is Anwar, and I job here manager. So this is our manager. He's been with us for 9 years. This is the beautiful. This is what we paid for. This is at a very good salary.
Okay, so the purpose of playing this video is to show you that this media text was actually, it went viral on Facebook in January 2021. And the reaction of public on that was very severe, actually. So I have done the semiotic analysis of this video. And the purpose of that is that a cafe owner, this is about the case example. So the thing is that the cafe owners, two cafe owners of an elite cafe in Islamabad, Pakistan, that is the capital of Pakistan, are making fun of their manager on using poor English or bad English. So this actually created a kind of outrage on the social media, and the societal reaction was very intense. Now, I have done content analysis to measure the society reaction. I selected, when I put the keywords in that, so there were videos, newsfeed, and images, etc. The criteria for inclusion was newspaper articles, and the parameter was from 21st January to 25th January. So within these 3 days, how the society reacted to this incident, this video actually. So within just 3 days. So this was the keywords, Colonial Islamabad viral video. And within about less than a minute, there were 6,000 plus results. And that included videos and images and other things as well. But I just selected for the sample 67 results that I filtered, and they came to 57, and just 17 were relevant about it. And the sample headlines, I'm going to show you the sample headlines. For example, this is the name of the cafe, Cannoli. Boycott Cannoli, Islamabad restaurant owners say they are appalled at reaction over the video. And Canoli Islamabad Cafe rebrands its logo after facing severe backlash over viral video. And Urdu Mushaira held against Canoli owners outside Islamabad Cafe. So this was actually, it's a sample of what actually happened and how society reacted to this social media viral video. And when they say that after this reaction, they had to rebrand their logo as well. It was previously Canoli in English, but then they wrote Canoli in Urdu just to overcome that backlash. So in the semiotic analysis about semiotic, it's the theory of signs and symbols, and any information system is a semiotic system. So this is the theory underlying this analysis. Now semiotics, this kind of review the background theory that Saussure, first of all, he presented the theory of semiology. He said that it's the linguistic sign, a two-sided psychological intent entity, and then each triggers the other. And the sign is the basic unit that makes a language. Otherwise, meanings, words do not have any meanings. They are just like a noise. Then we have Peirce's triad theory. This is Peirce's semiotic triangle. He gave the what is the sign. Sign has three dimensions, and a sign can be icon, index, or symbol. This is a trichotomy of sign given by Charles Peirce. He was an American semiotician theorist. And he told that a sign can be index if it is pointing to something. It can be icon if it is imitating something, and a symbol if it is just conceptually giving the idea of something. The researcher's positionality in this kind of research is that the researcher himself or herself becomes a research instrument. In other words, the data analysts pay attention to their own analytical commitments. They include an awareness of how the researcher's own position within the analytical social settings may have affected the analysis. Because semiotics is related with the context, it is related with the cultural science, so in which the researcher position is very important in this one. Now, Johnson and Lakoff presented the theory of metaphors and metonymies. Metaphor is understanding one experience in the terms of another. It's kind of comparison. And Lakoff and Johnson told that metonymy is like a part of every day of thinking. Like when we say that she's just a pretty face, so pretty face becomes the metonymy of she. So a part becomes a metonymy of the whole. So when we do the semiotic analysis of this video text, here the owners, both of the owners, they become the symbol, they becomes the metonymy of the elite class. The manager with his demeanor, the way he's standing and his docile style, he becomes the common working folk in Pakistan. And the high-end cafe in which this whole video played, this becomes Islamabad, Pakistan. So they stand as a metonymy of these bigger concepts. Now, what is denotation and connotation? In semiotics, the literal meaning is denotation, and connotation in semiotics means it refers to the socio-cultural and personal associations, ideological, emotional of the sign. These are typically related to interpreters' class, age, gender, ethnicity, and so on. You just saw this video, but your connotations might be different from my connotations, because I am from this context, I'm living around this place. So my connotations, my interpretation of the same video can be different. Now, this is continued. I'm going to give you the example. Now, they were speaking English, right? The English language, denotationally, it's just a language, right? We must just come to know that it is international language according to the literal meaning. But what are the connotations? It's a foreign language. They have colonial associations. It's English medium instruction. Educational background comes into it. Then access to English, meaning how many people can afford this kind of fluency, proficiency in English. So elitism, this all connotations and much more connotations come into the semiotic analysis. And these are all related to the issues of language policy and planning in Pakistan. Now, what is language policy and planning? Language policy and planning is a term to address the issues of language preference in non-homogeneous language society. When more than one languages are spoken in a society, then language policy and planning is the term that will address it. There are four approaches to this language policy and planning: classical, language management, domain, and critical. But for this paper, I'm going to focus just on the critical one. Uh, Critical approaches have been basically, they are the newer side of these approaches. Recent ones, Tollefson 2006 said that it is an alternative view to see the things, how equality and inequality are brought into the society with the help of policy and planning. His questions are about the role of schools in society, the link between education and employment as well, and how inequalities are constructed among the learners because of the language policies. Now, this is the model, language policy and planning model presented by Chua and Baldov. It's a very recent one. In 2011 and 2018, it was refined. It tells about the macro planning, macro planning, micro planning, and infra micro planning. So there are four major groups in which planning occurs. It levels, different levels in which planning is being implemented and planned. In the context of Pakistan, in macro level, it's the global influences as well as national policy. At the macro planning, we have provincial level planning. And in the micro planning, this is very important that we have institutional level planning, that is in the planning in the educational institutes. Teachers agencies, students agencies comes, and then infra micro planning is where individual choices and families decisions come in. In 1973, it was stated in Pakistan that the national language of Pakistan is Urdu, but they could not get rid of English. The English language may be used for official purpose. This was declared. So as a result of this policy, we have these kind of institutes in Pakistan. We have madrasa, that is free education. We have elite English medium schools, but they are charging very high fee. Then second tier private school, and then Urdu medium schools that are free. So those who can afford fee, they can go to the elite schools, and then they have access to better English proficiency. It's a table that has been that states that how much cost a child going to madrasa. It's normal, it's free, very little, and then Urdu medium is less, and then in English medium it's very high. So this is the cost of education in different tiers of schools. Bourdieu presented this theory. He presented four kinds of capitals, and he says that the cultural capital, of which the part is the linguistic capital as well, it can be converted into economic capital as well, and the social capital as well. So we are talking about the languages, so linguistic capital is under discussion here. So when you make a state's official language, you give prestige to that language. In our case, in Pakistan, it's the English that is given the status of official language. So with the help of this lens, this is presented. Then I took I reviewed four papers. The findings are enlisted here. They are in the context of the post-colonial nations only. And these researches, these papers have been picked up during the last 5 years only. So they used the Bourdieu's theory in describing the status of languages in their countries. This is about linguistic capital and Nepal, India, and Pakistan. Then we have Kalan Payorshi is discussing about what is happening in the hierarchy of languages in India. And then we have Hamid, he is talking about in Bangladesh, marketization of education, and English is a language of hope. So these papers were reviewed and the findings have been mentioned here. So shortage of time, I cannot read each and every word. And then Manan, he says about in 2016, he wrote about Pakistan that English is perceived as a passport to better employment and upward social mobility in Pakistan, and society characterized by acute class division and intense class consciousness. Parents from the lower middle or working strata of society aspire to enroll their children in the English medium schools because they want their children to excel in their future, to get good employment. That's why. My future recommendation for this paper is that we are envisioning, and it is underway, this policy is underway, that there will be a single national curriculum in the whole of the nation. And the system, the vision is that one system of education for all in terms of curriculum, medium of instruction, and a common platform of assessment, so that all children have a fair and equal opportunity to receive high quality education. Single national curriculum is a step in that direction. So this is being implemented, and it is in the pipeline in 2021. So these are some of the references. So any questions, please?